Hello, my name is Sam, and today we are going to talk about whether or not you should read Red Rising. Red Rising by Pierce Brown is about a boy in the lowest class of society, the Reds. His wife is taken, according to the synopsis, so Darrow infiltrates the top level of society, and those are the Golds. So pretty much it's his survival disguised as a Gold and his ambitious rise. Number one, do you like fantasy, but you also want some sci-fi aspects to your book? Because that is exactly what this book is. This is really a fantasy kind of plot. There's loyalties that are made and then broken, and you've got houses fighting against each other, but you've also got very high-tech things that are involved. Yeah, at first it seems like a very classic dystopia, but then it really becomes more of a fantasy. Number two, are you looking for a book that is pretty much the Hunger Games crossed with Game of Thrones? Hunger Games meets Game of Thrones is the most perfect description of what this book is. Lots of grotesque killing, there's lots of fight to get to the top. Houses that are battling each other, and they're all enclosed in this one space, which makes it very Hunger Games-esque. And it is kind of a game that they are part of. So really, Hunger Games meets Game of Thrones is the most perfect description of Red Rising. Do you love classic dystopias of a kid coming of age who also is overthrowing the government? Because that is this book. But are you getting tired of the same old voice? There's a certain voice that is predominant in the sci-fi YA world, and this book comes in and cuts through it all because of our character Darrow, his voice. He is very unapologetic, upfront, gritty, and it's very entertaining if you have been getting tired of those dystopias where everything starts to become the same. Are you getting tired of romance in your YA books where relationship struggles overtake the main action? This has very little romance. If you are getting tired of romance, pick this up. If you need a romantic line going on through this, no. Do you like politics and political intrigue in your books? This has quite the aspect of political intrigue. Obviously, we're overthrowing a government in the series. It has tons of meddling from political powers, and there's a whole lot of power balancing in this book. Do you like your books taking place in one setting? Similar to the Hunger Games, it's all taking place in this one place. You've got tons of characters that you keep running into, and they are all fighting each other. Are you okay with many characters, or do you have trouble remembering people? Because that could be an issue. Do you like Roman mythology? Mainly Roman gods, because pretty much everything in here is named after a Roman god or a Roman leader. It's kind of entertaining because you can just go like, huh. It doesn't really make a difference, but sometimes it's fun to say, oh look, there's that god, and look, there's that name, that Roman leader name, and you can make connections if you want. Have you been looking for a book with a guy as the lead? That's not as popular in YA, at least the books that I read. It's a guy who has the lead, which is very entertaining and refreshing. Do you want a book with beautiful, powerful, and striking language? Pierce Brown has a very strong voice, and that is what really carries this book a lot of the time. He has this way of writing that is very unique to him. It is so huge to this book. And if you want to read a book where you just stop at certain lines and have to take it in and maybe take a breather, this is it. Okay, so that is it with Red Rising. It is an action-packed book, a very fun read, and it really is different. I will be dissecting it in another video, so come back to me when you have finished the book, and we will dissect it and look at all these little post-its that I have in here. So, that's it! I hope you know if you should pick up Red Rising. Goodbye! Shh.